Keylonda. I wanted to come and give you all a full video regarding my breastfeeding journey. Now that I'm nearing its end. So I have a little list here to help me out. And I'll try to make this as quick as possible. And then if you have any questions, you can always, leave those in the comments. Or if it's something more personal, send me a DM on Instagram. My Instagram is DWT Wheelers. DWT Wheelers. And I'll answer those questions for you. Okay, so if you'd like to know our breastfeeding journey, then continue to watch. Okay, so my journey started the day Nia was born. After I left the operating room, I was moved to, I didn't get skin to skin right away, which I was not happy about, but I was moved to a recovery room, a small little recovery room before, moving to our room where we stayed for the remainder of the time there. But it was a small room. They had a lactation nurse come right away, and I was very, very groggy and tired, and so she was there, just to make sure that Nia got latched on. Nia was a great little eater. She latched on very well. We didn't have any issues with her suckling or anything like that. The main issue at that point in recovery was that a sister was tired, okay? I don't even know what kind of dope they been giving you at the hospital, but I was tired. So, but I did, prior to, giving birth, I wanted to know positions that were good, that I could try. And being someone with a heavier chest, I had planned to use the clutch position, or a football position, where the baby's head is just basically lined up with your breast, and then you kind of hold them underneath like a football player holds the football, like a receiver would hold the football underneath the arm. So basically their body is lying on your forearm, their head is cupped in your hand, of course, right up next to the breast. I couldn't do the cradle position, which is, the typical position where the way you hold a baby when you're feeding them a bottle. I couldn't do that particular position in the hospital because for some reason it was significantly painful for me at that point. So I just stuck to the clutch position. I also used the boppy pillow. I have one that's the typical size boppy, and I also have a smaller nursing pillow. It was one of those things where you pay the shipping and they send you the pillow, and it was smaller, so I kind of flip-flop between those two, but the boppy was the one that I had in the hospital, and that was the one that the nurse showed me how to use. And they had someone come visit me every day to just make sure that everything was going well. So that's one thing I can say that is positive about having a C-section, is that you're in the hospital so long that when you run into breastfeeding issues, there's someone there to help you. And one specific time where you will need plenty of help is the second night. I didn't know this was a thing. I just thought it was a Nia thing, but it turns out after following different breastfeeding support pages on YouTube and things like that, channels on YouTube and pages on Instagram, things like that, I found out that this second nightmare kind of thing is very common. And so in the hospital they called it cluster feeding, which is basically like your baby may want to eat every 30 minutes. So you're just up nursing all times of the night. And I was thinking, well, the first night they're probably pretty sleepy. They're like, I don't know where I am, but I'm going to just see if when I wake up, I'm back, in my mama's tummy. And then the second night they realized, like, uh-oh, I'm here and I'm hungry and I ain't getting no more, good stuff from mama. So I'm ready to eat. But that second night of cluster feeding, it can be pretty exhausting, pretty stressful. It wears on your nipples a whole lot, so you're going to be using your cream. And I also would let them air dry, rub a little colostrum on them, let them air dry, just to, you know, make sure, because you don't have your milk yet, so your baby's really really hungry. But it's also a good thing, because with you constantly nursing, your body's like, hold up, we need to make some milk up in here, shawty, because we got a baby. Okay, so that was, you know, all serving its purpose. And it also just lets you know, girl, you a mama, girl, you know. So that's one good thing. Like, if you're like I was and your baby's huge, or either, you know, you're 42 weeks along and your doctor's like, look, if this baby don't come out, we have to go get it. Don't feel so bad about having a C-section, because that aspect of it is really helpful. You're going to be in the hospital. There's people there to help you, and you're not by yourself. There's thousands of other women who have been through it and still been able to successfully breastfeed. So the second night, pretty close to hell, but we made it through. One thing that helped me make it through was a suggestion by one of the lactation nurses. I wish I knew who she was, but like I said, that dope was so good, I don't really remember a lot of people's names. But she was an excellent nurse, and I told her, you know, practically on the verge of tears, look, I really want to breastfeed my baby. I know it's good for her. I know it's good for me, but Shawty wants some milk and I ain't got none. So she actually, she said, well, you can give her a bottle. And I was like, I really don't want to give her a bottle right now, you know. So she said, well, you know, here's your options. You know, of course you can do the bottle. You can do some, you know, formula or whatever. She said, you can just tough it out, you know, and continue, you know, trying to nurse her. Or she said you can supplement without a bottle. And I was like, well, whatever that is, bring that. So she brought me a Medela supplemental system. This system was amazing. It has a little tube part that looks kind of like a bottle, those little tiny bottles of formula. And then it narrows, and there's a small tubing that goes down. You actually tape that small tubing to your breast near your nipple, and so as your baby suckles on. Okay, so the Medela supplemental system has a bottle where you put the formula, and then a tube that falls down, so you basically can clip it on your gown or your bra, and then the tube hangs down. You tape it to your breast, and as the there's also a clamp to stop the flow of the milk until you get it right. But it basically drips down a little bit of formula to go along with the colostrum to help your baby feel more, you know, full and satisfied. That was the biggest thing. I just wanted her to be satisfied and go to sleep. Okay, so I'll try to find a picture of that and put that in just so you can see how that looks. I continued to take my prenatal vitamins. There was no point where I really found that any foods or any type of cookies or anything like that really increased my milk supply. The only thing that really helped was just, you know, to nurse. When I made it home from the hospital, a lot of people were feeding me, so I was eating pretty well. But if they stopped feeding me, then I just didn't eat as much. I usually sat in a chair with like armrests on the side if I wasn't, you know, in the bed, because that was easier to nurse. And like I said, I used my bobby pillow and the other little smaller nursing pillow. I started to pump as soon as I realized that my milk, was actually coming in. So after I would nurse Nia, then I would pump, and I barely got like half an ounce sometimes. So it starts off really really slowly, but just, you know, stay encouraged, because it's gonna come. I have the Medela Advance I introduced the pacifier when she was 2 days old, and I introduced the bottle at 2 weeks old. So she never was too attached to a pacifier, thank you Lord, and now she doesn't take one at all. She, stopped taking pacifiers probably around 9 months or so. Um, she started drooling and giving those little signs of teething about 4 or 5 months old, and she got her first tooth. She was a little bit older than 6 months, so 6 months about 6 months and a half. And so that made her want to nurse more. And so your nipples, they're going to be sensitive, okay? And a lot of times when they first latch, it's you can feel it, It should never just hurt the entire time they're nursing. If that happens, that means something's not great about the latch. So maybe you need to break the seal of the latch with your finger, and then, try to get them relatched and maybe try another position or something like that, because it should not hurt the entire time you're nursing. And over time, like, you'll feel like a truck could run over them things, and you ain't gonna feel it. When I introduced baby food, my supply dropped a little bit, but also her appetite, changed. So she didn't drink as much milk because she was, enjoying eating, and she's always been a good eater. Sippy cups, I want to say we tried to introduce sippy cups about 9 or 10 months, and then I was just like, no, this ain't the time. And then I really went full force with them right before her first birthday. She does well with them now. She'll drink out of this kind with the little top, the kind with the straw. She has the 360 cup. The 360 cup was the one that, worked the best. And I had to put breast milk in her sippy cups because when I introduced them, she was only drinking milk. She didn't like water. She didn't like juice. Now she drinks all three. As far as biting, she has bit me before, and yes, it does hurt, but it does not hurt as bad as a C-section. So don't let biting deter you from giving your child those nutrients that you know that they need. Okay. I noticed that she tends to bite more when she's kind of just playing around. So like, I only would nurse her once she got those 8 teeth. Okay. I would only nurse her when I knew she would be really hungry. So the first, feedings that I phased out were during the daytime, where they're learning to crawl and walk, and they want to be busy, and they don't know if they want to nurse or not, or, they want milk or no, I'm straight, kind of thing. So I stopped nursing in the daytime. And then so I would nurse morning and night, or if she was getting ready to go down for a nap and I knew she was really sleepy. Another thing is I break the latch once she falls asleep, because I learned she tends to clamp down once she falls into a deeper sleep. And we're trying to prevent that clamp down. As far as weaning is very difficult for me because she's old enough to, search through my clothes and look for what she wants. So that part was really hard because she is able to, know that that's what she wants and show that that's what she wants. And so that was kind of difficult. And then, so like I said, I eliminated the daytime nursing first, and then I actually eliminated the harder one for me, which is the morning one. And I was still nursing her at night, but now I've switched it. So I stopped nursing at night just to make sure that she would be able to fall asleep without nursing. And I kept the morning feeding, so she still gets nursed in the mornings when she first wakes up. It's just easier for me to keep that one in right now because I don't be wanting to get out the bed either. I already got out the bed to go get you at your crib, shawty. So, and now that she's older, I can actually do the cradle position. Like I was saying, your body is going to be able to tolerate nursing more. And as far as any little tips I picked up along the way, I told y'all about the biting and teething, to kind of prevent the biting. Told you about the supplemental system, the Medela supplemental system. That's good to know early on. And I guess, oh, another thing, when she got ready to go to daycare, I had to have more milk ready. So one thing you could do is once they stop feeding through the night, you can continue to wake up and pump during those times just to kind of build up your supply, because for some reason between about 2 a.m. and 5 a.m. Research that I've done has shown that that tends to be peak production time for your breast milk. So if you feel like you're not able to pump enough during the daytime, make sure that you just set that alarm, get up at 3 a.m., go ahead and pump. It'll be worth it, and you're going to be surprised at how much milk actually comes out. So that's one thing I've learned. And also, I never really experienced a lot of painful engorgement unless I went like an extremely long time without pumping. But please don't do that. I really think that had an effect on my supply, because I never was just like a milky girl with a lot of milk just everywhere. And so I think that was part of it. It was like once she got to the point where, you know, I had introduced bottles, I'd be like, yeah, y'all to just take her so I could get a nap. And I would, you know, miss that pumping and, you know, pump later. And of course, you know, more milk would come out than just one feeding. But I think over time that reduced it because, you know, I wasn't pumping on a schedule. So if, you know, once you get your milk supply in, you want to be exclusively pumping, then just make sure you stay on a schedule and just don't let anything keep you off that schedule, just as if your baby was right there at the breast, okay? I did try the cloth and disposable breast pads, and it just got a little tedious having to wash the cloth one, so I just went with, you know, buying big boxes of the disposable ones. And also for your pump, don't forget that, you know, even though you're washing and sanitizing the parts and all those kinds of things, that some parts need to be replaced. So look up what type of timeline you need to replace some of your pump parts for your particular pump. There was something else I was going to say when I said that. Oh, with bottles. She never favored any specific bottles, but we favor the Munchkin latch bottles. We tried Dr. Brown's. We have Tommy Tippies. We have the Medela bottles that go with the pumping system. We also had storage bags. The Medela storage bags, don't get them. They leak. And I found too that I actually froze milk in the little small Medela pumping bottles. The milk freezes better in that versus the bag. So I would use the bags for my refrigerated milk and the little skinny bottles for the frozen milk, because those bags, once they go from frozen to, you know, thawed out, sometimes they could leak. And you know, breast milk is like gold, okay? And we just can't be letting gold just be dripping all down up in the refrigerator when we're trying to defrost milk for our babies. Okay, so I think I went over everything. And if I left anything out, or there's something more you want to know, or if you want me to make a specific video about any thing, I really think I covered everything from, you know, A to Z there. So thank y'all so much for watching, and don't forget to share this video with some of your friends who are expecting and maybe want to breastfeed, and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.